Today I'm going to be taking a look at some third-party Joy-Con alternatives from Singland. Singland is a website that sells a ton of third-party accessories for the Nintendo Switch, including some customizable third-party Joy-Cons, as well as a solid third-party Pro Controller. Now what caught my attention besides the overall design is that these Joy-Cons have a pretty decent reputation for having some solid build quality, so I thought I'd take a look at them myself. How well do they perform? Let's find out. Inside the packaging, you have the left and right Joy-Con themselves, along with a left and right grip. Taking a closer look, they have the exact button layout as an authentic pair of Joy-Cons would. You have the 4 face buttons on the right Joy-Con, and the 4 direction buttons on the left Joy-Con. Both analog sticks look and feel exactly as they do on the originals. But one thing you will notice is that the plus minus capture and home button are slightly different than the original. This isn't a big deal for the capture and home button, but I will say I prefer the plus and minus buttons on an authentic pair of Joy-Cons over these little square ones. Once again, not a big deal, just personal preference. You have the 2 shoulder buttons on each Joy-Con, and over on the rails you have the SL and SR buttons. Speaking of buttons, the buttons on these Joy-Cons feel great. They feel every bit as good as an authentic pair. They're nice and clicky, and the travel distance on them is spot on. That's one issue I've had with some third-party Joy-Cons in the past, is that the travel distance on the buttons felt kind of unnatural. That's not the case here. These feel great. When compared to an authentic set of Joy-Cons, the authentic Joy-Cons have a little bit more weight to them, as well as the Singland Joy-Cons have a slightly different shape over on the backside. This design actually helps with ergonomics and make for a really comfortable feel, especially when you're using a single Joy-Con as its own controller. In this configuration, the Singland pair definitely felt slightly more comfortable than the original. Pairing them up with your Nintendo Switch is as easy as locking them in place. They slide nice and easy down the rails, and personally I think they look pretty badass. I really dig the design. So I played a variety of different games with these, and they seemed to be up to task for pretty much everything I threw at them. Whether I was playing a fighting game, a platformer, or even a shooter, they seem to perform really well. The vibration on them is passable. Of course, you're not getting the same HD rumble that you would with an authentic pair of Joy-Cons, but these felt pretty good. Another thing I think is absolutely great about these Joy-Cons is they actually have amiibo support. When it comes to third-party Joy-Cons, amiibo support is often one thing that gets left out. Having that included is a nice touch. All in all, I'd say that these are a really good pair of third-party Joy-Cons. They're built exceptionally well, and they function damn near close to the real thing. I would say these are more than just a backup pair of Joy-Cons. These can actually serve as a legit replacement. I don't rank them as high as something like the Hori Split Pad Pro, but they're a very viable alternative to the official Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. If you guys are interested in these third-party Joy-Cons by Singland, I'll put links in the description below. Until next time, this is Ness, signing out.